Rad World? Welcome back to another episode of Spoiling Dead, the show where we talk about Walking Dead. This episode is brought to you by RAD THREADS, a clothing line with filmmakers in mind. You can check those out at www.radentertain.com/RADThreads. I am your host, Rebekah Erb, and I'm here with my dudes, Daniel Murphy and Tony Walters. And let's get this discussion started.
That was nice. Good.
Michonne
Nice intro. Can I
is
just
gone.
compliment you real quick? I thoroughly enjoyed your intro.
Oh,
It's good. I gotta change this camera real quick.
Okay. So, Michonne is no longer. However, she is not dead.
Right,
She lives on.
right.
She's just doing things.
She's doing things. She's on a quest.
What are your thoughts on her quest?
On which parts, like specifically, are you talking about how the whole thing went down, or where
Let's
she's
start with how the
headed
whole
now?
thing went down. Let's start from the beginning, and that guy had stolen some things from Oceanside,
Yeah.
and then she left
Right.
because there were guns.
The whole thing was, and I've said this a lot about this show lately, and I have been enjoying it, but it's all a bit loosey-goosey.
Little loosey-goosey.
Because the whole thing from the beginning, the guy, his lies and his motives and his real reasons were just not enough for me for Michonne to go, all right, I'll come. She's
Right.
always been better than that.
Well, especially
I-
lately, which was like the point of this episode.
Right. And I know a little
you
bit
know?
about this episode was a lot about the decisions that you make in life.
Yeah.
And how they got her to where she was now.
Right, exactly.
And then, he mentioned, everything happens for a reason. Maybe meeting me was part of what your destiny is meant to be. And
Absolutely.
they got out of it that way. But it was still a bit...
Funny.
They still threw a lot of stuff in there to me that was unnecessary, like the whole going on a trip thing.
Right.
Just to
That just was
have
not
those
believable.
flashbacks.
It wasn't quite as believable for Michonne's character. I
No.
mean, everything that happened and how her character reacted in the moments were very believable, and I enjoyed that. But the actual following this guy, the act of following this guy, and then the act of going
yeah.
on this crazy goose chicken hunt. what is it called?
Goose chase.
Goose chase was you were
Goose
right.
chase. Just doesn't quite seem.
Like her.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That's
I feel
my
like
fault
like
with this.
for the story of Rick, if they're gonna have somebody go after him, because eventually somebody was gonna figure out he wasn't dead, right?
Right.
This
For a movie to
obviously
happen,
we
at
know he
least,
ain't dead, but
I
this
think.
doesn't necessarily mean to her that he's still alive. There's just another little bit of a glimmer of hope for her.
Right.
That obviously this is something to do with Rick, and maybe he can be alive. Now,
Right.
is that enough for her to give up on everyone while they're out fighting a battle over
Which
the
is
word
crazy,
of a kid?
we've talked about before. How is she going to be able to rightfully go without the kids?
It's kind of
and it's like
selfish,
they
really.
gave the kids gave her their blessing and all of this stuff,
Right.
and it just
It's
I-
just
Like, not even her kid, really. I mean, Judith, who she raised. Sure, I get it.
Right.
But like her
Right.
actual blood,
Blood.
like son, she's just gonna leave him behind.
right.
We're like, what's up with
right,
that?
right. I
And
think
I-
it's a bit selfish of her, and I know in the moment. Sorry, I know in the moment
you're
when
good,
you
you're
think
good.
somebody's dead. Can you imagine though? I mean, you're not thinking clearly, even for
Right,
Michonne. Now
right.
you've got this fresh bit of. You can smell Rick on these boots, right? Like she's got this
Right.
fresh bit of information, and she was just looking for that confirmation from Judith, and Judith could just tell that's what she wanted to
Oh,
do.
absolutely.
And then,
yeah.
and even with Judith being as level-headed as she is, and her mind thinking this could be literally the only chance to get Rick back.
Absolutely.
If he's get backable.
Right, like her dad, who she's now doesn't really
Right.
know.
Right.
I mean, I think she probably has maybe little memories
She
of him.
understands it though,
I think
but
so,
it's
yeah.
the hope that Rick could return. She
Absolutely.
can bring him back. I don't think that's. I don't know that that's how this will go down. Maybe at the end when they're able to travel, there is a helicopter. There's no reason that they can't come back.
Right.
But
right.
there has to be a way to wrap it up, and not just Rick's just not going to come back.
Yeah.
So
And that's definitely why Judith said it
it's an end game thing.
the way she did to Michonne. Was like, yeah, everything is good here. And you could tell,
They've
like,
done
the
what-
timeline was just
Right.
about probably the same where we left
can
off
assume
last
so.
with them, you
she
know?
might know that Alpha's dead and
Right.
everything's kind of come to an end.
Because
you
if
know.
Michonne knew what was still going on, I don't think
Yeah.
she would
Well, they
have
weren't in direct
chanced this
danger,
new
were they?
trip. Right.
It seems like they're handling it. It's winding
Right.
down. But
Speaking
she
of
wasn't going to
trips,
say
though,
that. It's like they've used Judith as a way for the show to let Michonne go.
Yeah.
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 Do you know what I mean? And they've done it through this kid, so it's
Absolutely.
like,
Justified it through that so you could
Justified
go.
it through
So
that.
it's like-
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if you imagine, put yourself in that situation for just a minute, what would you do?
I wouldn't go.
You would stay?
I would stay. I would go back. Yeah, I would go back to my kids.
Okay. Even if it meant maybe being able to bring the
I
dad
would go back to my kids and regroup and bring the proof that I had.
Right. And talk to
had,
your
like, a
team
game plan
and finish out this
like-
war that you got going on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
At that point, there's time.
Yeah,
To come back to
absolutely.
that, like-
I mean,
if-
there's
if
time.
I-
There's infinite
and that's-
time.
that-
Like,
and
who
that's
knows?
exactly
Those
what
boots could have been sitting there for the last 3 years. You know, you don't know.
Well, and well, not just that. Like she found them. With how long has it passed? Like 6 years has passed since
Six-
the
I think something like that.
explosion. So
Yeah.
even that alone, like founding this after 6 years, then would warrant there's a little bit more time to not take like immediate action. But like that other trip that she had, let's talk about like the very beginning and the things that I actually did
With Andrea?
very, very, very much like was the what if path. Like the
I like that too.
alternate dimension
It took
that
me
they
a minute
went.
to understand
And
what
me
they
too,
were doing.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because they opened with it, and I'm like, that was Andrea. Andrea never died there.
That's what I said. Like, well, because
I picked up on it pretty quick.
You
they,
did?
Yeah.
I mean, I got
'Cause-
that. That's maybe what you know, a
You did
what
not
if
pick it up very
moment.
quick.
But
I
it
did pick it up very
it
quick.
took me a
I
minute.
told you right at the get go. I said, "So is that like what if Andrea died?" And you're like, "No, I don't think so." And then
Oh, you
and then
did.
like
You totally
and then
did.
like
Which-
it kept
that's
going
what
on,
led-
and
that
then you
was
were like,
what
"I don't
would
think it
have-
was Andrea." I was
yeah.
like, "I thought it was," and then we went back and
Right.
forth
That's
for a
what would
while.
have led her to be in Negan's
Absolutely.
group because she didn't
Absolutely.
have a heart enough to
Which
save.
I loved. I absolutely
It's the reality of the
loved
world.
that
It's how
part.
it would
Yeah,
be.
and that's the questions that we asked ourselves when they went into that encampment with the whole start of the Savior's thing and killed those people in the night. That's when we're like, raised the question, well, if the tables were turned, we aren't necessarily the good guys in
Right.
like the story.
Right.
So it's interesting to then go
Right.
further with that and see
And
her
we've
side.
always said that too about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
both
yeah.
sides, and I do
Yeah.
think that's kind of like we were saying earlier, a bit of a setup for Negan becoming more of a Rick type character in the show, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of just shifting, just the shift.
I
of-
would be okay with that. I would be okay
this
with that
point
shift.
I
Where
am.
we are, yeah.
I mean,
and who he's become.
Carol and Negan have done pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Like he went deep undercover to get that done.
for sure.
And not only did he kill her, he cut her head off. Like Carol wanted her
which was the
head
perfect
on
exactly
a stake.
oh yeah
that's
to
what happened.
put it on the border.
I think we literally see that next
Right.
week.
But with the teaser trailer that they played at the end of the episode, you know, we see that. But it looks like Carol is not fulfilling her side because Negan's like, I did mine, do yours. So I'm curious, like,
So
what's
she's
going
got
on
something
there.
else too, other than letting
That
him
he, right.
out. Okay, that's interesting.
Which
isn't
you would
it?
think that just letting him out would be, but there must have been more of a deal.
To let him out, he had to do this.
And then
His
she would
freedom is
give
not
him
there
that
yet.
or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, you said going back to the flashbacks.
The flashbacks were so cool. I'm like such a nostalgic person, so going back to like just all these different
I think
things
they were
that
trying
we've
to
already
tug at our
seen
heartstrings a little
and-
bit, plus also give us like a, oh wow, that's interesting.
Absolutely, and I wanted it to tug on my heartstrings more.
And it didn't
honestly
really, did
didn't
it?
for
Because it was
me.
alternate
Yeah.
and it wasn't what we remembered.
Well,
Right.
not just
And
that.
it looked a little funny.
It looked a little funny.
Just a little funny.
Some of
Not,
it was-
like, it was cool and it was
It was
good.
cool
was
because it made
impressed
it
with
work
how
because
they
she
did
was
it.
like tripping, you know, on
Yeah.
whatever.
Right,
he
yeah,
grew
exactly.
They
in
So-
used that to
garden.
hide a lot
Exactly.
of
They
those
use that to
edits.
hide all the edits and stuff. But like when she's
Right.
like face to face, like down in the thing that we use
It's
for
a
the
little
thumbnail that's
weird.
currently on the screen right now.
Right.
That's a little weird. I think
It's-
the
it
lighting in it,
looks-
it's because the lighting doesn't match exactly, and it's
But
a
I
little
don't
odd.
think that's
Yeah.
what. I don't think that's the reason that it couldn't tug at my heartstrings. I don't know. Like
I think one
I don't know
thing
why it
is that
didn't
we've
hit
all
me.
known this is coming for too long. So it's like you
Yeah.
prepared yourself for it, but with that in mind, we wanted something with a bit more excitement.
Well, not just that. I wanted
Other
something
than
with
just
the
like, what
with
the hell
the
are you
other
thinking,
characters.
Michonne? It was unnecessary.
You know?
The whole drug trip thing was not necessary.
Okay, it was not necessary. It was cool.
It was cool.
Not necessary. And for it being like her last episode, do something with the rest of the characters. Be face to face, hugging and crying on your child or something.
Right,
You know
saving
what I
it
mean?
for the
Like,
movies. They're saving
But
it.
here's the thing, though. Outside of us just knowing that it's her last episode, what
Right.
in that episode at all tells you that it's her last episode?
Nothing,
Nothing
really.
at all. There's
Right,
nothing in that
right.
episode that makes you
Nothing.
go, oh, she's not
Right,
coming back.
right.
Like with Maggie,
Because
how they
we
just
know she's
they just
Right.
they just came back and she
We
was
dealt
gone.
with Rick. We have to deal with Michonne.
Right.
We know,
I know,
what they're
but
doing.
So is this
I think
why
with
you,
Rick,
like-
it felt more like the last episode because they kept promoting it every
Right.
week. Next week is Rick's last, or in
Right.
2 weeks
Right,
it's
right.
Rick's
Yeah.
last episode or
I guess
whatever.
they didn't really
So
do
at least
that.
they promoted it. With this, there was no promotion. There was nothing about it. It's her final episode. If you watch Talking Dead, I guess you would know that. But outside of that, for the general
Right.
audience,
No
they're just
one
gonna be
would
like,
know.
"Oh, she's just not on the show anymore."
I feel
That's
like
weird.
she's watching
Right.
me as we talk about
I
it.
know what they're back there. So what was like your other thought that there was like an argument or something? You
Oh,
think?
I mean, to me, it just feels like she got in an argument with somebody and, like, with a producer, and they had to write her
It's
off the
probably
show, and it was
movie
just kind of a
deals and
rushed
stuff.
write-off kind of deal.
It's probably just movie deals and whatnot too.
I mean, it probably is
but
that,
that's not
but
helping
it's
her right now, is it?
right. Yeah, all the time off she took just got halted.
Yeah.
It just feels like a really lazy way to write off a character.
Right.
A little bit.
I mean, like for her as an actress, like she got all the writing directed towards her, and the episode is about her. So as far as like her performance, I'm sure it was really fun for her.
Right.
But then at the grand scheme of things, to give like a proper goodbye would be
She's been
all
on the show
about
for
her,
how long now?
but still with like the other characters and more of an impactful story for the
everyone else's
grand
everyone
story.
else's story was tied up with a bow because the only way out of Walking Dead used to be death.
right. So that was
So
like
all
the
these,
nice
like,
bow,
Leaving my
like,
options
to
open
these-
kind of things.
Right.
Like,
Right, and that's not, now it's just ruining the
Yeah,
writing
it's like-
process too,
it's
because
like
now you got to be
that's-
like, oh, you're gone, but we can't kill you off.
Yeah, that's not
So
exciting.
You
got to
find out a way to leave your story like a loose ending here to like try and
It would have
do
been
this.
way better if they just not have said anything about it,
Right.
and then we're just like we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what Michonne's been up to, even though it was kind of dumb. But I guess if they didn't know, then we'd be there waiting on Michonne and what's going on with her. And we
Right,
could get mad
right.
about that. I mean, it's definitely all going to come back in the movies. But
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
But if-
sneaky of them the way they've done it. Like
yeah.
they've given us enough comfort to know we'll know what's going to happen sooner
Yeah.
or later without.
Yeah.
But then it kind of kills the anticipation and the kind of excitement of the show a bit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, it was good, but it was,
Wasn't what I
like,
was
meh.
expecting at all. really.
agreed. Yeah.
I've been
I
a huge
agree.
fan of the show this season. Like, I've really, really enjoyed it. And this is the episode that went, this is why I hate the show.
But even when they dressed her up to look like how she used to look, she just looked like an action figure version of how she used to look. Like when we first met Michonne, she was
Yeah.
scary,
Okay,
right?
well, this
Yeah.
is the thing too, and I noticed this last night too. Not just that, but even all the scenes with Michonne, like her outfit, like she's wearing like this orange thing, which looks nice. But everything about the show now, this season, but very specific with last night's episode. Last night's episode looks like the new show they're about to come out with. The whole what's the show called? The
the new
Yeah,
one.
the
the
World
World
something, whatever.
Yeah.
That spin-off show,
Beyond.
World
Yeah.
Beyond. Yeah, it looks more like that, which is very comic booky. All the colors pop. It's got that
Right.
very like oversaturated color look to it,
Right.
and that's what last night's episode
very
looked like too.
uniformed wardrobe. Like
Yes,
it's just like it's
very
just-
much. Yeah, they look like more like comic book panels,
Yeah.
which is cool, but also takes away from what the show was. But maybe that's just they
just
change hands with
shifting
producers and
us
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What I've heard is that the city where these movies is going to take place, wherever Rick ends up, that city is where the new show takes place after the Rick events happen.
Cool. Okay.
So, I mean, the way that
So
he's
the
saying
World
that, they're
Beyond
just
is taking place after Rick
after
events
the Rick
and
events,
the movie.
but in the same city that Rick
Cool.
might be in.
Because it's definitely
wherever that
like
is.
more
Right.
into the future with the weird stab guns that the government has in those beyond.
And it definitely looks like the government in the world beyond. It's like a new government's come in and all that
It's
stuff.
the New World
There's
Order.
that many zombies.
Or whatever it's called.
I'm shocked there's still that many zombies.
Well, they look like they're covered in moss and like they've been there for a while. Like they should be just dead by now,
But
just
again,
because
they
time.
shouldn't be a
And,
threat at that point.
right.
It's
Well, I
just
don't
like
think they are.
decorations, like I said.
That's why the government's come
It's
back
more
in and all
the
that stuff.
government.
Like,
Yeah.
it looks to me more like this is just it's a. I mean, it's the synopsis, a coming of age story or whatever.
The New
Yeah.
World Order.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I mean,
I feel like
overall, they could have done better.
Yeah.
But it was good
But it's
enough.
not really
like it was
her
enjoyable.
exit yet, so I don't know.
No.
When that happens with it, whatever happens.
Right, and I'm
later.
sure they can get the kids in on the movie too. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure
for
that'll
sure.
probably happen.
But this particular episode
'Cause they
was
can't
not
cost that much.
necessary for
Yeah.
her to be in the movies. It definitely is like because she wants to do other projects. You know what I
Right, but
mean?
sh-
It's not
she's
just that she
definitely gonna
wanted
be in
some
the
on the
movie.
movie.
They're
Right,
definitely gonna
yeah,
show
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Because,
of course.
you know, I mean, thinking of
But
a
still.
movie, if it's 2 hours long, they're going to have. It's going to be about Rick, but there's going to be other things happening to bring it together.
right. I mean, I'm
so-
sure that their original process didn't necessarily have Michonne in it, or maybe it did. But yeah, all of this is because she wants to leave the show. It's not, and
Right.
that's
Probably.
why the writing isn't very good because
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to be.
the formation
I'm sure they had another story.
of the traveling like people
Oh, yeah,
society
yeah.
was super cool. I have to
Yeah.
say I loved where like the people were on the
seemed-
middle and like
yeah.
the warriors or soldiers
seemed very military.
were yeah,
It seemed very strategic.
very cool.
Uh,
And the people had like a cow hide and a hat on,
it was
very
kinda hard to see
Commonwealth-ish.
some of that stuff. I don't.
you
Yeah, I think
know?
it's Commonwealth more than it's
Yeah.
not this New World Order. It's not big enough for that.
Do you
but-
think Michonne would have her own spin-off show?
Oh gosh,
I don't
hope
think she
not.
wants to have a spin-off
No,
show.
I doubt it.
She doesn't. She doesn't
What
have the
about her own
time.
spin-off movie leading up to the Rick
Possible
movies?
because
Yeah,
there's
very
3
possible.
Like
movies.
maybe she travels through the Commonwealth. Hey,
Possible.
old group again. Tears, go on, and then like
I mean, that's
travel
possible.
into the movie.
I think
Rick's movie?
definitely that will be in the movies somewhere. Yeah, I would be for sure.
Interesting.
And they've said 3 movies. I think.
I think so
One
too.
could be a Michonne heavy movie with other
Yeah.
stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, from my understanding, I don't think it's 3 Rick movies. It's just
Yeah.
3 Walking
3
Dead
Walking
theatrical
Dead.
releases is what
Right.
they've signed up for.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So,
that could be
then, yeah, that could be good. Well,
It just feels very Star Warsy, like the
You
way
think
she's
so?
just adventuring in strange lands.
yeah.
She showed up to on a boat. It feels like they landed a spaceship and they're on a new planet. And then there's this army of people and they're all
Yeah.
wearing outfits. I don't know. She made her pets and she was like, I don't really need them.
Right.
Got these humans now.
That was cool. I saw the symbolicness in that, you know.
Right.
All that was pretty cool. She looks good. Her acting's great. Her in Talking Dead was, you know, fabulous. She seems like a wonderful human being.
I watched it for a little while.
Yeah. I ended up falling asleep, but
It was late.
it was good. It was good. They did it like Skype.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It was interesting.
I think we
but-
gave them that idea last week.
I know.
Definitely.
Like they totally got that from us. Like,
I mean,
of
we told
course.
him to do it.
Yeah. Very good episode-ish, kinda. You know.
You
I
don't
know.
seem very happy
Eh,
with it.
I mean, it was good enough. Do you guys have any other points that you'd like to make?
Just like
of
just want
the-
to wrap this thing up because like
I don't know.
you know,
what
let's
else
get
I
back
did.
to the action, can
I
we
mean,
please?
There isn't much more to say
I mean,
about
there
it.
really isn't. Yeah, like
Sure, we're not alone.
You think we got how many episodes we got left of the show? I think there's
Three, I think.
3 episodes left. I
Three
think I thought it was just 2
episodes
episodes left.
left.
I think you're right.
they
I'm
though.
said
thinking 3 or 4.
They said 3.
3, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds probably right.
So
Because they had one that was the battle,
yeah.
and then there were 2 others. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
So at least we're gonna have
Yeah, we
some
got 2
more
other
action when we come
2?
back
3,
next
sorry.
week because
Yeah, back into
Beta
a-
has found Alpha's head
Yeah.
and he is like
Beta's now
just
Alpha. Do you think Negan's still there? Do you think Negan's gone back
I
with
think
them?
Negan is gone.
Well, hold on. Carol left, right? So Negan has nobody to vouch for him.
Carol and Negan are together in the preview.
Right.
Are they?
But I don't think Carol's with like the rest of
She
the
meets
group.
him on
She
the
because she's like
hilltop
screw
because
it and
he's
she's leaving and at the
Yeah.
like, at the end of that episode and then he's like just followed with her because he can't go back.
That's what I'm saying. Do
Yeah.
you think he goes back? Do you think he goes back with Carol?
I think
back
I think
that's what
he's
he wants to
probably,
do, but he has to
is
probably
with
talk Carol
her,
into
yeah,
it first.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to say something because old Wacky Hand, he spotted Negan out in the woods, didn't
Aaron?
Right,
Yeah.
Aaron.
Oh, that's right. He
he? So
did.
he's
yeah.
pretty mad.
So he's bound to say
Plus,
something.
the girl's on the loose. She's gonna get back to someone.
Okay, do we think that Carol dies in the next episode? Because it's called Look at the Flowers.
Oh man.
Oh, that's that one.
Yeah. I'm just really curious with the title.
Wouldn't it be funny if when
Or maybe
Alpha's
she just
head's
murders
on
some
the
kids.
stake that she tells Alpha's head to look at the flowers? Oh, I feel like it's possible. Do you think
I
that?
mean,
Do you
we're
think
gonna get
someone's gonna get
some
mad
heavy
about the whole Carol
Carol at
Negan
least.
thing in the group? You think that's gonna be like
for
the end
sure.
of it? Who's
Oh,
well,
You think
yeah.
Daryl will be mad
I think
about that?
Daryl's gonna be mad because that's gonna be like the ultimate mistrust. She didn't tell him that. Like that's gonna be like I feel like his last straw.
It's got potential for sure to be his last straw. I mean, I think that this
But
might
he
force her to
wouldn't
get
do it to her.
alienated even more.
He wouldn't kill her.
No.
No.
No,
He's
but he might-
never
he might
gonna
kick her
hate
out.
Her,
I think
but
they're gonna
he's
look at
gonna,
that and
like,
go,
not
"Well,
talk to
they
her.
did kill Alpha. I mean, they did do it. Think about it.
Right.
Negan didn't do anything wrong.
No,
Right.
he did the mission he
did
was given.
exactly what he. But it's all
Right.
going to come down to maybe what her part of the deal is.
Right.
Not just
Bringing
that,
him back
but what
into
they
the group,
do.
I think, is what.
Yeah,
is
but
what
not just that,
is.
but to
And
handle
he's
what's
hiding.
coming from Beta. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah, he
yeah,
needs
they may have
he
killed
needs an
Alpha,
army to
but
help the rest of them out.
yeah, they still have a horde. Like the problem is still there at hand. You know what I mean?
They've killed their
like,
leader, but he also I don't think Beta really scares him much.
Who?
Negan.
No, but Negan's not scared of Beta,
No,
but Beta's
but-
capable of a lot.
But as far as like the rest of the group is concerned, that's what they're going to be thinking. Like,
I
like,
just think
you know.
I
in
don't
the
know.
grand, in the grand scheme of
But
things
listen,
too. Like
what
the grand
heck
scheme
else
of
were
things.
they gonna do? Like they didn't really have another plan, did they?
Right? Yeah, it was like take down
So-
like the leaders.
So
but-
while they're all worrying about what the hell's going on and people are dying, Carol and Negan still saved them from
yeah, for
Alpha.
sure, for sure.
Right.
Now they might have stirred up the nest a
I
bit.
mean, what do you guys think about about the Whisperers in general? Do you think that they're still sticking around now that Alpha's dead?
I think that some of them
Well-
probably dispersed, but I think that most of them are there because
They're still fearing Beta.
Beta's fucking terrifying. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's still gonna. He's still
I
gonna
think
keep
it's
him
gonna.
there.
I think it's gonna come to the point where Beta is everyone's following Beta.
He's gonna
but then
become
Lydia
Alpha.
comes in, and everyone's gonna see Lydia for the first time, and then lose their shit and follow
Do
her.
you think
Well,
so?
she was supposed
And-
to be the new leader anyway.
Right.
But she
right.
didn't want it.
Right, but now she can take that mantle and bring the Whisperers into the group, like bring them in
She
with everybody
could.
else.
Well, not just that, but
She
like
is out there.
disband the war, like disband the next
Yeah.
like
Maybe
plan of
she,
action.
but she
and
would
the
just come in
horde.
and basically
like the
release
war.
them.
Yeah.
She would just release them from.
Because they still don't know as a whole, like the Whispers, that she's alive.
Right.
So it would be like a forgive me, like
It could be interesting.
Jesus type
I-
thing.
I
like,
honestly-
hello, I
I-
am your leader.
Yeah, I honestly
I am
do
back
not
from
know
the dead.
really where
Sorry.
they're gonna go next.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which
No,
is
yeah.
which is good because
yeah.
I've normally got kind of an idea of how I want it to go. I don't have any idea how this is
Right.
gonna go.
It is sad that Michonne is gone. Like that is definitely
You
a
think Beta
huge
will
hit for
kill
the
Carol?
show. I feel like. I don't think so. No. I think.
What if Beta gets a hold of Carol somehow and uses her as like a hostage? He
I
could
think Carol's too smart for that, and I don't think. I think that Beta knows that it was Negan.
I think
like,
Beta's
that's
had
what
an
I
eye
think.
on Negan
Yeah.
since the get-go.
I think that he knows from this moment it was Negan, and all he cares about is going after Negan, and then just like flattening everybody else, like just following Alpha's plan that she had like all along. Is my
He's gonna stick to her
thought.
plan.
Yeah, because he's so cultish, and he's so like, I mean, he's even like holding her head, like he's gonna go. Yeah.
He just wants to.
We're gonna
sin.
really see what he has under his sleeves with all these things that we've been seeing, like the RV and the grave
Oh yeah.
thing,
Because
and
I'm sure a lot of that's his.
oh my gosh, yeah.
His ideas.
And then and of course, we will possibly know who he is because of the mask and all of that.
It's
I
been
don't know.
revealed secretly as an Easter egg on Fear the Walking Dead who he is.
Really?
and it's
Is
quite.
it
I
a
do.
spoilery thing? Like,
I don't.
would I want to know, or should I
don't
find
think
out
it's not
organically?
spoilery to the effect that he's a big, powerful character,
Okay.
but it's spoilery to the effect that it would be like. I mean, he's more famous than powerful.
Okay, which is kind of like what I was thinking
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
You know, just with how the guy reacted. Like, I thought you sounded familiar. Like, how you would kind of react
Right.
if you saw a famous person, I feel like. And
Yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
it's,
don't.
So it's not. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, don't.
I won't say.
I want to figure out.
I don't know. I
organically.
don't think what he is going to matter to the story whatsoever.
Right. I don't even know that
Gotcha.
it'll get brought up. It's just an
Well,
Easter
let's
egg for the other
see
show.
if
I
it
think so.
gets-
Because there was an Easter egg in Fear, and I think that was an Easter egg for. I don't think it's important enough to even matter.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, if
not
you
really
enjoy-
though. Not if you're you and me, and then you go, "Are they ever going to call back to that thing that he said?"
But
Not
they did it.
necessarily.
Really. They've
Not
already
necess-
done it.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what
technically.
I mean. Like, if you
I
enjoy
think it's
both
more
shows,
for the,
what a
for
cool.
the real. We're not real fans anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I think it's more for the real.
Yeah,
fans.
like what a cool thing if you
It's for the
enjoy both
universe.
shows and you saw, you're like, oh hey, there's
Right,
that.
because
Oh hey, there's that.
because
Like, that would be
if
so
you
cool.
if you
Dang it.
notice the moment in Fear the Walking Dead,
Yeah.
it would be if it's stuck in your head enough to what.
Yeah.
Because you can. I won't tell you who he is. But
Okay.
his face as him, the actor who plays him
Yeah.
with the beard and everything.
Yeah.
Is visually in
Fear the Walking Dead. That's cool.
So when his mask was ripped off, if you were a fan,
Yeah.
you would recognize that person
That's
right
cool.
away
Yeah.
because of who he is. So I think it's just nods,
Yeah.
but still really awesome.
Yeah, that is.
So if they don't reveal it, I'll tell you who he is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. If he
See, it's like
dies, then you
things
don't get to
like-
find out who he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It seems like that
Which I
with
think's gonna
Walking
happen.
Yeah, me
Dead.
too.
It's like the little nice little details that they do, like that make me love them so much. But then
Right.
other little things that just like I'm starting to scold them for. But
Well,
however,
We need to wait and see.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
we give up on them a little bit, and they came back. Like
yeah, they did. They
this
did.
this is a bit of. I'm not going to call it a letdown because it's not over yet.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
just a shift. She made some stupid
It's a
decisions.
weird shift.
But people make stupid
I
decisions.
think it's a hit for the show because she was my favorite character. Like from the moment that she came in, like, I was just like, oh.
Remember
look at
Avengers
her.
Endgame when they all show up at the end to kick ass and save the day?
Yeah.
That moment's going to come at some point, and then it will be awesome.
That will be cool. That will be cool to
I'm not
witness
saying they're
that.
going to show up to kick ass, but I'm going to say there'll be some kind
Okay.
of
Okay.
reunion.
Yeah. We can only hope. We can only hope.
That's how they'll fix everything.
So, Daniel, what do you have going on in the crazy world today?
I don't have really hardly anything happening at the moment. This is probably my last venture out for a few weeks.
That is a very sad thing.
Yeah.
Very, very sad thing.
So
But
just work and home.
Working home, gotta flatten that curve, I guess. Everything with M&M Films, I'm sure, is just kind of
Kind
put
of just
hold
on hold
and-
for now.
Yeah.
Well, Tony here still gets to build a kick-ass new computer. That's fun. I was just
That
looking
is
at.
pretty
I was just
exciting.
looking for a new jigsaw puzzle today. Actually, was looking for
Perfect time.
at the Lego kits. Like something to put together.
Yeah.
I saw some cool like model kits, like of the DeLorean and an Ecto
That's
one,
cool.
just the snap together kits.
Yeah.
I'm like, they look cool when they're done. But you could probably build that thing in 10 minutes. Like
Yeah,
that's
so
not
it's
gonna
like that's
pass.
not the.
But he
that's
still
not
gets
fun.
to build a cool computer, then play with it.
It's pretty exciting.
I'm
We'll
pretty
probably
excited
do
about
a
it.
video for that on Rad.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on this week is building a computer, and then I'm still my job is essential, so deemed
Yeah.
essential, so
I
I'll
have
be
an
working all
essential
week too.
job also.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's good though.
I still
yeah.
get a
You
paycheck.
still get a paycheck. So that's lovely.
Right.
We can all get through this. We can Skype in at least,
Yeah, Skype in.
and we got
The kids in the background.
yeah.
Jimmy Fallon can do it, so can I.
Absolutely. And Switch, we can play Chicken Horse,
Oh, yeah,
Ultimate
we
Chicken
can- oh, yeah,
Horse.
I'm definitely playing that.
So we'll still be together in spirit. But yeah, it's this whole thing going on is very sad because it leads us to have to, unfortunately, cancel Action Fest.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
cancel.
Not cancel.
Put on hold. Yeah.
Put on hold.
Not even put it on
No,
hold. We're
well,
still
put
having
on
it.
hold.
If
It's
we
just
can
not
pull it
gonna
off,
be
we're still
in
doing it.
person. We will be doing a live theatrical event. We have a lot of fun things planned to stream it with all of the fun amenities as well that we had like along with the festival
Right.
and into a streaming theatrical party event. So we're
Hopefully
working
still
out the
keep
kinks
some of the
and
guests on there,
absolutely.
PSAs.
There'll still be Q&As if we
seminars.
see like if you guys
Did I say PSAs? I did.
I'm not too sure.
Q&As.
Q&As, yeah, there'll be still Q&As.
There might
and
be some PSAs too.
panels
Yeah, maybe
and
some M&Ms.
some fun things. So
Yeah.
at least we have that going on.
We do what we can do.
We do what we can do. Hope that this all blows over. So stay inside, please. Stay inside and watch Spoiling Dead and other, artist shows
Yeah.
and things.
Yeah.
And
Support
just
your
be
artists.
safe. Absolutely.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Wash your damn hands. And thank you so much for tuning in to Spoiling Dead. We hope you enjoyed it. You can maybe catch us next week. It will be just a different format.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll be here
figure
in some
something
sort
out.
of fashion. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Remember, this episode is brought to you by RAD THREADS, like this shirt and this hat. You can get it at www.radentertain.com/RAD THREADS. This is a limited edition Action Fest t-shirt, so since you can't get one at the festival, just go to radentertain.com/RAD THREADS and get one there.
Just go buy one.
Go buy one. And there's other cool stuff. So, thanks, guys. I'm Rebekah Erb. That's Daniel Murphy. This is Tony Walters, and we'll catch you next time. Wash your hands.
Cheerio.